Good morning, everyone. I'm going to take you into my messy closet. This closet here is a walk-in closet off of my bedroom. And as you can see, it is a disaster. So today we're going to focus on my sewing table and how I'm going to clean it up, where it's going to end up, and how I'm going to set it up so it's once again functional. I did have it in a different closet before. That closet had no electricity, so every time I wanted to use it, I had to bring it out of the closet. I've since put it in here, probably a year or so ago. And when I did that, I thought, oh, I'll use it in here because I have electricity in this room. Actually, I don't. What I do have is an extension cord for electricity. But the problem in here is this is a multi-purpose room. So I never actually came in here to sew. I thought I would, but I didn't. It was one of those things. Now the reason it's covered in plastic is because I have an attic space here, which is creepy. I don't like attics, but that's the crawl space. So recently I had a plumber come in to look at my HVAC, and of course he had to get a ladder and come in this room. And so I covered everything with plastic, and that's how I left it. I never got back in here. So today I thought it would be fun to transform my sewing area and move it out. And I hear Pepper over here. She's hiding in the corner. Pepper, are you hiding over here? What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, Pepper. She's playing with some cords, I see. So I thought it would be fun to bring you along as I transform this. I set up the tripod in the room so I could get a good angle of cleaning out the desk and everything. This room was also used for all the Christmas gifts I had. I had put them in here as I shopped for them. And this year I made a point of getting all my Christmas shopping done before December. So there was a period of time where I couldn't even get into this room because of the Christmas gifts. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off the whole top of everything. Now I also have a bunch of junk underneath. As you see, I had some dresses that needed repair that I never got to. I have another old sewing machine. I have a vintage basket with some sewing machine pedals. I have a lot going on in here. So I figured that would be the first area to start. Just clean off the top of the desk. I have this really cute cat I got. I have this boxing cat pen. It's so cute. I don't even remember where I got this stuff. Oh, look at that. I found some batteries I didn't even know I had. So this here is a vintage blue bowl. As you see, there's a little wear on it. This was my grandmother's. She passed away, I want to say almost 20 years ago now, and she loved to sew. So I have her bowl, and I put some needles and stuff on a magnetic thing in there, and that's what I use the bowl for. She actually taught me how to sew. I never really was good at sewing. It's not my specialty, but she did her best to try to teach me. And at first she told me no, she wasn't going to teach me. But then after I said, please, I really want to learn how to sew, then she sat down with me and we made a skirt. Didn't come out that great, but she helped me through all that. And then I had home ec in school. They used to do home ec where you could learn how to bake cookies. You could learn how to do all kinds of things. And they taught us how to make a tote bag. But what I use my sewing machine for is for making greeting cards. I sew them. I don't really sew much else. Now, the clothing I have to repair, I'll probably do that by hand, not on a machine. I just have to remember what I unplug. I'm terrible at that. You know, you unplug things and then you can't figure out what wire goes to what. But this one's a cool machine. So I found the foot pedal. I'm going to unplug that. Alrighty. So now I'm going to take the machine out. Is that a crochet needle or a knitting needle. I don't know, because I don't do either of those crafts. I don't know why I have that. I had a couple of boxes stored under my other desk, and one is all thread. Most of it is vintage. And one is little fabric pieces, zippers, things like that. There is a flea market I used to go to. I haven't been in years, but this lady sold so many different craft supplies. It was awesome. So I would go up there a couple times a year, and I'd buy big bags of fabric pieces, craft supplies, threads, that sort of thing. Now, as you can see, I have this mess to deal with, but I wanted to show you in the drawers the cool stuff I have. Let's start with drawer number 1. These are fabric scissors. I learned a long time ago that there is definitely a difference with scissors. You can get a regular plain pair of scissors. It's not going to cut fabric. You have to get fabric scissors to cut fabric. And I got just some random rolls of thread, probably thread I used recently. I did sew up a bunny for my daughter's friend. And then this drawer is empty. This desk actually came from Wayfair, I believe. And I repurposed it from my daughter's room. So there's my instruction booklet. As you can see, sometimes the drawers don't completely fit with the bottom, so it's not really that well made, but it was very inexpensive, and I originally purchased it for her for like a vanity, you know, where she could put her makeup, her hairbrushes, that kind of thing. This is a vintage tin. I don't remember where I got it. Maybe even Goodwill. Right now it's empty. I think I used to store thread in here. Now this is my fun drawer. So you see I have the tomato cushion for the pins. I have all kinds of stuff. I have other pins. I have this little Barbie tin full of pins. Pins and pins. So basically the reason I have all of these pins is because I make homemade ornaments sometimes. And they're the kinds that you use with sequins, and you can push them. Like if you use a styrofoam ball, you take these pins and you push the sequins through into the ball. I haven't done that in quite some time, but that's why I have an assortment of craft stuff, because I've tried a lot of different types of crafts. You can see all the stuff I have in here. And then I have this drawer here. These are all threads that I've never even opened. Crazy that I have this many. I think they came in one big set one time. And then I have like the Stitch Witchery, if you're not familiar with this product, or Heat Bond products. You basically, instead of sewing, you can cut a piece and put it between two pieces of fabric or an applique or something like that, and you press it on with a iron, and then once you do that, it fuses to the fabric. So if you don't want to sew, like, say, a hem, you can use the Stitch Witchery or the Heat Bond. Put this on the hemline of the pants or the shirt or whatever, and then you press the iron down on it and it melts it to the two pieces of fabric. And it's usually pretty permanent. I've had good success with that. I also buy it on a roll, and it says right on the package, fabric, all kinds of things you can use. Denim, suede leather, for patches, paper even. You can use it with ribbon. There's many, many uses for this Heat Bond. But I have found that it's very useful over the years. And like I said, I have this basket that has the foot pedals in it. So next, I'm just going to pick up everything on the floor and bring that out of the closet so that I can move the actual desk out. So this is what the desk looks like once it's all cleaned up and everything's off the floor. And the fun part about this desk is that it folds. So the leg kind of folds inward, and it's on like a wheel. You can see it underneath it here, how it folds. And then this side folds down. That way, it's very easy to move around. So I have a spot for my sewing table, and it's going to go right here. It's small enough to fit in this space, This is a dresser with my TV on it. And what I like about this spot, and the reason I picked it for my sewing table, is because these are really big sunny windows. I like being able to sit here with the curtain open and on a sunny day and just sew. So I thought that would be a really nice spot to sit and sew. So I'm going to set the tripod up so we can see as this plays out how it's going to look and come together. It's very easy to move because it's on wheels. However, I had a throw rug, so it got caught up in that. So now I have the dresser and then the sewing table, and I'm just looking at my craft table together. If I take this arm up, and fold the leg out, where that will be at the window. And you see I have plenty of room, so I can put my chair here, and then it's on wheels, so I can sit at the craft table when I want to craft something and turn around and sew. I think that will work out. This isn't real wood either, so I don't want to ruin it by getting it wet, but I do need to wipe off the dust. It's amazing, even in closets, how dusty things get. That always amazes me. And then I'm going to dry it because I don't want it's probably particle board. Now, you can buy a really nice sewing table. Joann Fabrics used to have a tremendous selection of sewing tables online. But I don't know, I haven't shopped there in a while and they closed, sadly. So I don't know if they still have a website. I haven't even looked. But this, like I said, was for my daughter's room. It was cheap. I think it was less than $100, maybe even like $99 or something like that at Wayfair. And it was convenient for her at the time. And then she got a better vanity for her room, so she gave this to me. And that's how it became my sewing table. There we have that. So let's put everything back now. See how this turns out. Hopefully, like I anticipate it will. You know, sometimes you get these great ideas, at least I do anyway. As you walk through it and do it, you realize that wasn't a great idea, so we'll see. The first thing I want to do is put my sewing machine back. Got to plug in the foot pedal. Figure out which way it goes. So here we go. That was a plug on the back of it. Now, the way I had it in the closet, I threaded the foot pedal behind, so the cord wasn't in my way. So by threading the cord behind the sewing machine, now there's no cord in my way when I'm sewing. And then there was a plug. Like I said, I'm bad with electronics and anything that plugs in, but this was pretty easy to figure out. And that plug just went on the side. And I do have an extension cord here where my TV is, or yeah, it's actually an extension cord, but it has 3 outlets. So I have my TV plugged into it so I can plug this in that. And after I did that, I tucked that behind the dresser so you don't even see any cord sticking out or anything. But now it's plugged in and ready to go at any time. And then I just turn on the side switch here. And the machine comes right on. This is the Runway Limited Edition Brother. I do have this cover, so I'm going to put that back on, only because you don't want your machine getting dusty. And dust seems to be everywhere. No matter how good of a house cleaner one is, there's always dust. I'm going to be sitting right here in front of this part where the leg folds out. And I'm going to be using the machine here. Now I have this nice empty space to put the supplies I work with when I sew. And as I showed before, I'm going to grab that blue bowl. And that's really all I need on this space. Just that little bowl, all the supplies in the drawers, and my machine. Now look at that. I have my craft table to the left, I have my rolling chair, and I have my sewing machine table. The rest of the items, such as the heat bond rolls, my old sewing machine, the dresses I need to sew, things like that, I have an extra closet where I can store things, and that's where I'll be putting that. But I think this came out really nice, simple, but yet effective, functional, but yet it looks good, and it's right there at my fingertips. And when I am ready to sew my next projects, look how pretty that will be to sit there and sew. It gives me peace of mind. It gives me some relaxation. I'm taking back my hobbies one at a time. I hope you learned a tip or two. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.